was the first night out on his stag do. So, he obviously wasn't going to make that clear, so I thought I'd make sure you all know.
It only lasted 6 months, though, Mark.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for stopping drinking long enough to realise that I'm about to stand up with shaky hands to say hilarious things about Scotland which will make you want to hide under the table. I know that Andrew Hood, true to form, and I wrote this before I knew he was doing it, has picked up the habit of filming various best man speeches on his mobile phone. Rather than enjoying it live like everybody else. So, to be honest, he is adding to the pressure quite a lot, but if you are watching on YouTube later on, I recommend a video that I put up instead. Search for Andrew Hood in Amsterdam. You'll have a much better laugh. Like we all are now looking at
Which one was it? Which one?
There's a series of 10 on there. For those that don't know me, but I've just been introduced, I'm Mark, Scott's younger brother and best man. And contrary to what I heard Scott saying to somebody else earlier in the week, I'm not a confident public speaker, I've got shaking hands. So I will keep this as brief as possible. I really will need to, because I only wrote it when we got in off the last bar close in Iron Apple last night. It might have been early this morning actually, but Claire, don't worry, we made sure Scott was in bed by 10, because he needed to be fresh for today. So, when we got in at 10 o'clock this morning, I thought I'd better start. The first thing I want to say is thanks to Scott for asking me to be his best man. I really appreciate the pressure of organising the stag do, trying to get my suit to Cyprus without it getting creased, and writing a speech to deliver in front of 45 people in 95 degrees of heat. I expect it to be a little bit higher than this. When Scott and Claire first got engaged, we all expected to be travelling a long way to a foreign country with a tropical climate and an exotic language. But Scott and Claire clearly didn't go for a wedding in Wales in the end. So instead of a 200-mile drive, we've ended up 1,879 miles further away. And I obviously didn't go to the trouble of working that out. No. I guess you might have considered having a wedding in Wales at some point. So out of curiosity, I checked the weather this morning, and as you will definitely have guessed, it's pouring down with rain incrementally today. No, I wrote that before I hope my pronunciation's up to scratch there, Stu.
Yeah, very good.
Because we all just, half of this room, just call it Llanelli most of the time. It's a lot easier. So well done on avoiding the rain anyway in South Wales. I'm sure everyone will agree that you made a brilliant choice on the wedding venue, and all of the work that you've put in to make it perfect and feel perfect has paid off, so congratulations for that. But before we go into all that sort of stuff, let's have a quick talk about Scott. In true Dembo style, and Scott's already alluded to this, he managed to delay popping the question for 10 years and 2 children. And even then, after 10 years and 2 children, someone told me, I don't know who, that he was a quivering wreck in the living room, having put it off all day because he couldn't find the right moment. What did he think was going to happen? No. I'm not going to go into that. There's a lot of advantages and disadvantages of being the younger brother. You get the benefit of having someone to look up to, but you also find yourself getting the blame for far more than your fair share of things when you're younger. One particular episode, which sticks in mind, was when a group of us were walking home from the backfields in Boreham Wood. I think I was probably about 10 and Scott was about 12. We had been whacking golf balls up and down the field all day long with no real aim. But Scott decided to carry on practicing his swing as we were walking home. But that was only until he cracked a full-on swing into my elbow whilst I was walking behind him. So whose fault was this? Clearly, that was my fault for walking so close behind him. I did take comfort from the fact that he was clearly worried that he had broken my arm, and he would have my